Sanbonani guys, welcome back to yet another video, and we are speaking about the latest episode of Queendom. Now guys, you know that yesterday's episode ended off with them being at a funeral, so it continues from that scene. So now the water is basically gushing, guys, emkotini. The water is gushing emkotini where they're supposed to bury Andile. And Untando's like, wenzakalani, like, what's going on? And Usanusi says, Nganyami, this is a sign, upau, that this is a sign basically. And while he's saying that, Uketiwe is smiling because Uketiwe, remember, she understands these things. He goes on to say, Usanusi says, Uti, this is not ordinary water. This is a gift sent directly from the world of the great Kahlamba ancestors. He goes on to say that this means he says this means, and then he just says wena wamanzi, bows down in front of Untando. Everyone else follows and they bowing down and they say wena wamanzi to Untando. Upravi, Vincent is just standing there, he's like wondering what's going on, and he eventually bows down and does the same thing. And then that song just, follows that Oba you say starts playing, and it just seems like the perfect moment, you guys. Undan was looking surprised. Everyone else besides Upravi, because he's a commoner, understands what is going on. At that time, I think Usanus is basically saying that is a confirmation that Untando is the chosen one. And hence they bowing down to her, and hence Uketiwe was smiling like that. But it looks like it has not registered to Untando. Next, we see a scene between Ukamahlangu and Utado. So Ukamahlangu is telling Utado that, you know what, Umkhoseli died. Manje ubanzi that is extremely sick. Ngizizwa ngathi ngingedwa la emhlabeni, like I'm alone, like I've been cursed, like nje, like everything is just such a mess. Utalokan's like, don't worry, Sandra Sam, ungakhathazeki, Sandra Sam, ngikon. Yes, Sandra Sam. At least I know that he means it. But hey guys, it's such a tricky situation. Anyway, Ukamahlangu goes on to say that I can't wait for Ubanzi to come back, abuye from esibhedlela, alulame ngokushesha, azofaka ingane yakhe uMcebo in his place. Because listen, uMcebo has gone on rampage, guys. Benoma wakhe, kuziwa ngabo, like, in the palace right now. Tadukano goes on to say, Wuti, even though the king could come back, because the king is supposed to come back, remember, because the doctor said he must get well at home, that they must treat him at home. So Dankala says, even now, local, even though the king will come back, we still need someone to sit on the throne in the meantime. Ukamahlangu says, it can't be Umandlovu, anyone but, she doesn't say anyone but Umandlovu, but she just says that it can't be Umandlovu. Dalungalo says, yini like ubufisu bamba nawe lesis kundla, like did you also want to take lesis kundla that you don't want Umandlovu to take the seat? Ukamahlangu looks at him and she's like, why would I raise Untando Gaise's name if I wanted that, eh? And you can see she's irritated by that. Utaro then says, I ngiyaxolisa. Ukamahlangu goes on to say, ukuthi hayi ungaxolisi vele, like you've sided with Umcebo already, angithi. Dalukolo goes on to say, kahle Kamahlangu, like it's not about taking sides. The palace really is in a crisis, and it really needs someone to be seated on the throne to be able to make certain decisions. Ukamahlangu says, why guessing I voted Untando Gaise? Dalokano goes on to say, but that's because Untando Gaise, she's not ready to take such a responsibility. Kamahlangu says, well, the king himself, Ubanzi himself, he appointed Untando, meyehla yona inkosi. So why aren't you guys like going ahead with that? Dalokano goes on to say, we need to find someone, and the person that we need to find, we need someone that is, going to run with it, because we don't have time to be holding Untando's hand and showing her what or how we do things, because Isimo needs someone to be placed as soon as possible. Kamahlangu goes on to say ukuthi ngikhona mina, like I'm here, like I can help untando. Dalukolo says mina bengicabanga ukuthi like you've got a lot on your plate, so I didn't even think of that option. Kamahlangu says ukuthi I'll make time, like ngamenzela isikhathi ngimsize, kanti-ke untando kayise she looks like ingane nje efundiseka kalula. Dalukalo goes on to say, Asenze kanje ke mahlangu, let's do it this way. Let's stop, ukuthi siphikisana over something that's taking us nowhere, basically. So he goes on to say, ukuthi, I'm sure just the way you said, ukuthi inkosi izolulama, that the king will recover and he will come back and he will fix all of this. That's it. So let's just stop arguing because it's pointless. Amahlangu goes on to say, ukuthi, hey, mina, if I was you, I wouldn't be so sure about that if I was you. I wouldn't be so sure that the king is just going to come back, is going to recover, like things are going to be smooth sailing like that. Dalukolo looks at Kamahlangu and is like, "Ushukuthini ke manje? Like, what do you mean?" Kamahlangu goes on to say, ukuthi, "Nginey'nsolo zami Dalukolo. Unesandla sesithathu behind the king's illness and futhi ngisola umcebo." Awudaluko zakhe how kahle. Like ngiyazi vele ukuthi like you don't like ukuthi unensolo zakho ngomcebo because you believe ukuthi umcebo basically wasusa umntwana umkhuseli. So you basically your opinion when it comes to umcebo is biased. Kamahlangu goes on to say ngisola yena vele, like inkosi like can't just tugu guys out of the blue igule. Like he can't just fall sick suddenly. And you know what's the thing? It should be obvious because it's like everyone that wanted to take the throne has been eliminated. And now that Ubanzi finally wanted to put someone else on the throne, he's also kind of been guruzad out the way. So like I don't see how other people don't see it. So anyway, uKamahlangu goes on to say ukuthi uyithatha kancane le nyoka engumcebo. And I'm just like, she's the right. Like uDaluxolo underestimates what umcebo is capable of. Even his own father Ubanzi knows he can see what his son is capable of a lot. Again, we see uMandlovu, she's gathered all the servants, uthi lalelani, she's telling them, lalelani lana, eningizwe kahle. The king is coming home from the hospital because he needs to come and heal her. And listen, no one's going to be allowed to go into his bedroom. There's always going to be onokata outside of his room. And we need to tighten the security in this place because the king needs to get well. So no one is just allowed to go in there without being escorted by Unokata. And you're not allowed to be there without permission. So I don't want people going to see the king. I don't want none. Just stay away. Umuntu oyi-one who's going to be allowed to go into the king's room is upoto. Naye lo poto lowo, he's going to be accompanied by unokata. Even when he cooks in the kitchen, every other servant nonke nje niphumela upoto. Like you guys need to leave the kitchen because when upoto cooks, he needs to be alone. Yo guys, I'm just like the person that they chose. It's the worst person because upoto, he's the gossiper. Like I mean, Boto's the perfect person because it's like if Boto knows something, it's as good as everyone knows it. So probably everyone's gonna be able to be updated concerning the king's condition because of Boto. So bekhuluma njalo inyamboze lifts up his hand and he's like unombuzo yena. He's requesting from uNdlovukazi that he wants to see the king will phuthuma makabuya if unesikhathi. Ndlovukazi looks at him like in a way, who do you think you are? And she's like, Aibo, like what is that you want to discuss with the king? Nyambosi says, no, it's very important and urgent. Like I can't say it to you, Ndlovukazi, but this is very important. Ndlovukazi says, if you can't say it to me, you're not going to be allowed to see the king because you can't see it to me. You can't say it to me. I'm just like, shame Nyambosi, you could see that it looked like Ndlovukazi just crushed his spirits because I mean, he wants to speak to the king concerning this sacrifice that has been spoken about. Anyway, that's America Kuluma. She's just like Ngikadile Hamban. I'm just like the way she speaks to people, this woman, she's got no regard for people. Anyway, that's that, you guys. Then we see Vincent, we see AC in where Vincent Pravi. He is walking into his house with his girls. And his girls, I mean Uketiwe and Untando guys. Now, Uketiwe guys, now I don't know whether I should refer to as Utolagele because she's gone back to her old life and they know her as Utolagele, or we should continue with Uketiwe, but let's stick with Uketiwe. So Vincent comes in with his girls through the door. But they're coming from the funeral. And Utaba, when he sees his girl, his fiance, guys, we should not forget that. He's like, oh, Muntwami, like rushing to her, and Untando just looks at him like she gives him that look of like, don't touch me. And she just goes into straight into the room with her bags. Shabang's like, and no, like, ngenze, ni like, nchune, ni like, what did I do? Ketiwe says, bengicela ukuthi umnikeze space, like just give her some space. Maybe she's even upset that you didn't come to isifihlo sikababa wakhe. You didn't come to her father or her dad's funeral. Tabang's like, bona bemfuna ukuza kodwa like wants to explain a long story. And Upravi's like, Tabang, hi man. Like just say, you know what? When Upravi said, hi man, like I got it because like this is not the right time. Pravi's like, Tabang, ay man, when ukhuluma kakhulu like awusize ngamabheki, like instead of explaining izinto eziningi. Tabang's like, anyway, how was the funeral? Pravi goes on to say, I'm a funeral, like, what more can we say? Funerals are funerals. And then he asks, Uchi upu aus Luisa, upu usisteruan. Tabang's like, bega lana, and then she went to buy something. So yeah, she just left. Ketsi was like, how ubuile? She's like, how ubuile? And Pravi's like, yeah, like ubuilo wamanj. Then, guys, we see another scene where they are rolling Ubanzi. Ubanzi is on those, those paramedic beds. Yeah, they are rolling him in with that bed because that bed has rollers. So they're pushing it, and they pushing it into his room. While they're pushing it, obviously the servants are trying to help because Banzi is heavy, as you can see. Everyone's trying to help to push to make sure that Uguti, like, it's smooth, all of those things. And then, Mandlovu says, Ima, amehlo ngathi ayavuleka. Kamahlangu then asked ukuthi ayavuleka. Ebo comes in, he's like, Baba, wena wamanzi. And now everyone like is calling his name because uMandlovu said she saw that his eyes are opening. Then as they're doing that, Ubanzi starts having the fits, guys. His body starts shaking. Then they call Tobataila. The doctor's coming. Ebo's like, yini yenza umsebenzi wakho, saying that to the doctor, like, yini, like, why are you even not here? Like, yenza umsebenzi wakho. The doctor goes on to say that he's having a seizure, and he calls the nurse. Then, yeah, that the doctor tries to calm down whatever's going on with Ubanzi. Then that machine just goes, dude. And I'm thinking to myself, does it mean that Ubanzi's dead? Because normally when we see these things and the machine sounds like that, we think it's dead. Kanti was only stabilizing, guys. Then the doctor says, no, he has calmed down. We can take him to his room right now. Then that's that. Then we see Untando. She is packing her clothes. She is in Tabang's room and she's packing her clothes. And Tabang's like, oh, what's happening? Like, where are you going to? She's like, no, she's going back into the house. And then Tabang's like, what is this about now? Like, I thought we were over this and whatnot. And Untando's like, listen, Tabang, minangkhathela ukuhlele e-backroom, angazi ngawe. Like, I'm tired of staying in a backroom. I'm like, girl, I got a taste of royalty, of money. Hey, one thing about some women, any small little money, guys, they will change. Hey, now Untando feels imagine me Taban goes on to say, hi, Lalena, like I've been trying to work hard and whatnot, but you can see that Untando's not listening to anything that he's basically saying. And then he goes like onto like, say Wuchi how all of a sudden when Amobuya Lana, like, I'm not good enough. Tando looks at him and she's like, did I say that? And then look who's that? Taban goes on stage. Did you not miss me trying to touch up behind there? Did you not miss me how? Like, that type of thing where a person thinks you're playing hard to get, but you really like, you're not interested. And you can see Undan was like irritated and she's like, Tabang man, I'm tired. Like, haven't you been hearing me? I said I don't want to talk. Like, you weren't even there for the past 30 weeks of my life. Like, just give me space. Then we see guys with Talukalo holding a meeting with the family and they are discussing, I guess it's voting time because remember the last meeting they had, they said they're going to come and discuss. So Talukalo is discussing or he says, thanking people for being there. We're here to discuss the fact that we need someone on the seat because the king is back. Yes, he's back, but he's not yet at a position or at a state where he's well enough to rule. Abo goes on to say, I will lula loco because I'm next in line. I think it's best that you guys all choose me. Utalukalo goes on to say, calm, Londolozi, like, I don't think you get what I'm saying. We are saying for now, we need umuntos or bambisa, basically. So he was trying to say that we're not looking for someone who's going to rule forever because I was next in line. We just need someone also bambisa for now. Then the king comes back, then the rest can follow. So Ukamahlang goes on to say ukuthi mina ngicabanga ukuthi Ntando will make a great fit for this position. I was like, ini ayingeke how? Like imagine like that was an insult to but imagine after so much work and then Ukamahlang wants to take him back. Umandlovu goes on to say ukuthi what does Untando like wazini and Untando kayise about izinto zobukhosi. UkaMahlangu says how Mandlovu sikhona nje sizomsiza kanti already that is like the king's wishes. That's what the king already said that she must stand in. Ebo goes on to say ukuthi ay thina abanye asivumalana, like we don't agree with that. We don't agree with that. Kamahlangu goes on to say ukuthi akusho lutho lokho ukuthi whether you agree with that or not, it doesn't mean anything. Inkosi ayiphikiswa. Ngabo goes on to say ukuthi we can't be discussing umuntu ongekho lana. I think again, since we are talking about umuntu that's going to be placed in the meantime, I think uNdlovukazi should take the seat. Kamahlangu looks at him and she's like, Mubtini, like on what grounds? Ngabo goes on to say how phela uyazazi intambo zalana ekhahlamba zalana ekhaya, like she's a great fit, you don't need to teach her anything and whatnot. Dalukalo goes on to say, I also think that Untando can't take such a great responsibility. I don't think she's fit for it. Then one of the council members there also says, I also think that we should respect the king's wishes. We've always done so. So why now that he's sick should we all of a sudden like disregard his wishes? Talupalo goes on to say, you know what? Let's settle this by voting. Bonke who wants Untando Aise to vote. Bonke who wants Untando Aise to take the seat, lift up your hands. Guys, there was only two people. It was Kamahlangu and one of the council members. You should have seen how Ebo was smiling there. Then as well, we see he then asked Wuti bonke abafuna uNdlovukazi wamanzi to take the seats, pick up your hands, and obviously badliwe you vote uKamahlangu beno council member badliwe you vote. So it was declared by uDalukolo that uNdlovukazi is the one who's going to be taking the seat. In the meanwhile, while he's saying that, guys, uMandlovu gets up from her seat and she goes and sits on Banzi's seat. She sits on Banzi's seat with a smile on her face. Ebo is so proud. He gets up and then he's like Ndlovukazi amanzi, and then he bows. Then everyone does the same thing and he's like, hey, ati ngihlehlele, like let me sit close by to you. I'm just like the way she was so happy, the way she was smiling. I'm just thinking of uKamahlangu if this is not going to backfire for her. Then we see another scene, guys, where we see there's a man in Banzi's room, and it looks like he's fixing something, like it's like a statue or something, like a bird statue, something. He's fixing it, but I have my suspicions that it's a hidden camera. Then this guy hears ukuthi khona abantu abazayo in the room. Remember, no one is supposed to be allowed in the room without unogada and without permission. So he hears people coming in and he starts saying, wena wamanzi. Undlovukazi comes in and she's like, Ayibo, ubani wena? Like, who are you? Like, what are you doing here? She's with Utaluxolo. She starts saying, hey, Arabanjwe, like, let him get arrested. Like, what is he doing here? What? That time, Ebo has walked in. The guy's trying to explain, which no, babe, I was coming to give my well wishes to the king. And Undlovu was like, who are you, basically, to come and give your well wishes? Like, get him arrested, call the guards. So that guy just says, Tembuguti, umlondolozi, Ebo, uzotazisa. Like, he will explain, uzotaza. So then, but then explains what he's a friend or he works with the king, so that's why he's here, but let him go, whatnot. I know, which the fact that that guy said, knew which I was the only one who could get him out of this because I was the one who sent him. Yeah, guys, and then the guy, Undlovukazi ends up taking her son's word. The guy ends up leaving, and now it's just Undlovukazi, Taluxolo, and Ebo. So Taluxolo goes on to say, "Wuti abang wuti umtshele." Abazakning jene ini. Then Undlovukazi goes on to say, "Wuti phela yeah." In the palace awuphephile, like it's not safe, there is danger, and there's people there's people who are plotting against your father because the doctor's report came back and it says that they found poison in Ubanzi's body. So we want to keep this as a secret. People must not know so that people do not panic, so that we can find the culprits kahle and whatnot. And obviously, I was like, Ubano nesibindi to even do something like that. I'm like, boy, bye. You know very well, Uti, like, what's going on. Anyway, guys, it's pity, and it looks like it's still going to go down. Anyway, let's park it right there. Tell me what you think of this latest episode. Please do make sure you like the video. Please do subscribe. It is absolutely for free of charge. And I'll see you guys on the next one.